Yeah, it's an interesting article. That's right. I'll keep bringing them in.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. If any member has reason to believe that this meeting is being held in violation of this act, they should state so at this time. Seeing none, Pledge of Allegiance, please. Roll call, Dave?
Yep. Got Mike Jones,
Here?
Councilman Bonner, Christopher, Gretchen,
Here.
Kimberly,
Kimberly's been traveling, she'll be out today.
Randall,
Here.
Justine, Barbara,
Here.
Sarah, Charlotte,
Here.
and David.
Alrighty. We have the minutes for Tuesday, June 24th. Is there a motion to approve?
I do. Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, old business. Planning board report, we had no applications last month. We did have a bunch of what did I do? Resolutions that we were talking about. We do have one application for this evening. It's where Casals is. There's going to be renovations there for a jewelry store.
Which I did review
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and there's really no comment. It's,
And that'll be for tonight's meeting.
yeah.
All right. Steve is not here, so we'll have to pass on his council report. Gretchen, you want to talk about a clothing event? Is that something you want to talk about?
Well, I guess what I don't know if it's so much a clothing event or a community-wide yard sale, which interestingly, the Village Green Association did do one.
Okay.
They probably had maybe 10, 12 participants. So that's good to know that was happening. So it's just whether or not we want to pursue that, and I don't know if that's something that we have to go to council and maybe, or the city manager.
What's it entail? What do they do? What are the clothing event? Do they?
So just everybody has a yard sale, they just promote it together, it's a way of promoting it. And so West Cape May does a community yard sale twice a year, in the spring and the fall. And the whole idea is just, repurpose, reuse, rather than
Yeah.
throw away. So, I know that Cape May is a busy town, there's a lot going on, so what is the best time of year to do this? I can, if the commission is interested, I can reach out to council or the city manager to see before we go further. It's just, West Cape May Environmental Commission promotes their yard sales. All they basically do is help pull it together, put it on the website.
What time of
And
year they do that,
so they do it in May, like around the second week in May, and they do another one, I'm gonna guess October, sometime in the fall.
Okay.
So it's just, bringing more people into town with other things going on in town.
If we were going to do something, it would probably be in the fall then, I guess, or a little bit, something like that.
It's a one-day event, right?
Right, yep. So, the other thing is that some communities will do, they'll have it in a public space and rent tables, maybe $20 a table for people that live in, townhouses or apartments or whatever. They can rent a table and then make it a community gathering. Maybe Harbor View Park could be a location for that. Just wanted to put that out there. It's, I go to the ones in West Cape May. It's kind of fun to do. Hop on my golf cart, grab my friend Debbie, and we just ride around and we go to the different yard sales. And
Maybe it's just a thought, we could go talk to their commission and see what they do, how much work and effort.
yeah, well, I did ask someone that's on the commission, and again, they don't do much other than they say they sponsor it
Okay.
by they do create a map, and they have a listing of all the addresses.
And they have signs.
They do
on-
have signs.
blue
They have signs that they put around. And so maybe the commission covers the cost of the signs.
Might not be a bad idea to do it. And maybe each year would get a little bit easier for people to recognize that we do put this on every year, kind of like something like that. Instead of Village Green doing it on their own, we could maybe do it, and they would be part of this.
I mean, is it something that you think Civic Affairs would be involved with? Just because I'm thinking event-wise with the other things that are going on in town, it could complement certain things in town, like, I don't know, Oktoberfest weekend, I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe it would complement, or maybe it's a totally separate thing, separate audience, separate people.
Definitely help with the marketing for sure and promoting it. But if you want to have it in the building, you have to check the
No.
yeah, okay.
I'm not talking about in the
Yeah.
building. I think most of it is, you know, a yard sale at a person's home.
No,
Other than-
I meant if you want to do a space,
Yes.
bring tables in, that's a possibility, just gotta check that.
Right, that's the only other thing. And maybe the first year we don't do that. It's just, we just have put together a listing of where the addresses of where everything is going to be and help promote. One of the things is that everyone used to use the Shopee, the new, which just
Closed.
after 50-some years or whatever, no longer exists. That's what local people use to find out where the yard sales are. Now it's probably social media, but anyway,
They put that on the agenda for next month, just our commission-sponsored yard sale stuff. We'll talk about it again next month. We'll see if we want to do it.
yeah.
So one question, with leftovers, yard sale leftovers, would Cape May City have trucks to take some things to offshore sites, donation places, or not? Or, I don't know if that's a part of West Cape May.
I think that, I mean, again, maybe it's something I have to work with Public Works. I think West Cape May also does it. They coincide with bulk trash, like the next day or the week is bulk trash pickup. I'm not even sure if Cape May City has bulk trash. I live in a townhouse complex, so we have to contract for our trash. So I'm not even sure what the city does. If I'll investigate.
So something like, it's like if you have a yard sale, and whatever you don't disregard or get rid of, that something like the city might come and pick it up the next day.
Yeah, or, I mean, especially bulk items, like a piece of furniture or something.
All right,
Most of the time, it's up to the individual to bring it to a donation. I'll do more research, I guess.
okay. And next up, wildlife habitat cert.
Yeah, I got some information. I got a point of contact from the National Wildlife Federation. I think there's still like 2 years left on the certification, so there's time. In the past, New Jersey Audubon kind of took the reins and did the certification process. They don't have the staff right now, so I got the impression when I contacted them and said, you know, where are we? They sent me back information kind of like, here, you got to do it now, which is sort of too bad. It's a little time consuming to get the recertification, but we have some
Kind of
time.
like a grant app, it's like a grant application almost.
It's just, it's
Stuff to do.
collecting a lot of data, a lot of information.
It's good for a couple more years, or?
Yeah, I think it's 2 more years, I
Okay.
think. There's time, and I have it in my email, I've got the information, now when I quickly looked at it, it's like, okay, it's not panic, we don't have to do it right away, but I get the impression we have to do it. the city will have to do it, rather than New Jersey Audubon doing it for the city. That's the impression I got.
So it's like an application then, or something of
Yeah,
sorts?
it's just paperwork. It's paperwork.
I mean, we could help, we could get started on that if that's something that we ought
Yeah.
to be doing.
Yeah.
Dave, put that on the agenda again for next month, okay?
I'm sorry I didn't print
Well, that's
out
okay. Just
the
maybe-
email. I could forward on the information
That would be good.
in the email.
What kind of information do you have to gather for that?
A lot of it is just, so, part of to be a certified wildlife community, you have to have like a pledge from 2 schools, which we only have 2 schools on the island. You kind of have to get commitment back from the schools that they're still participating or maintaining wildlife-friendly gardens. You have to have so many businesses, which, so it's gonna just take a little bit to make sure that the businesses that participated in the past maybe continue to do that.
Did the Audubon Group take care of it before, or do they?
They
in
did,
conjunction with us?
so New Jersey Audubon was a state affiliate for the National Wildlife Federation. So it was our job to kind of partner with the national organization to recruit communities to do this. And in doing that, they kind of said, we want you to do this, we'll take care of it for you. And they did it originally, and then 5 years later, they recertified. Evelyn Lovitz, who was on the Environmental Commission and also a volunteer at the Nature Center, she kind of led the way and did the paperwork.
Maybe you can grab what was done before, we can take a peek and see.
Yeah.
how
It's not like the original application, it's not
Okay.
like starting from scratch,
Right.
but there is a little bit that has to be done, and we have some time, but, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'll pull it up and I'll share it with everyone.
Very good. Anybody have any new business for the old business? I know we did the Harbor Fest. Abruptly, we did the Harbor Fest that was kind of shut down after there was a leak of a propane leak. And so we were there for 3/4 of the day, hardly with any people, but then they shut it down, so then we stopped. Do you still have the banners?
Yes.
Okay, somewhere?
I have 1 banner. Nope, I have 2.
You should have 2. One was up front on Delaware, and the other one was at the table in the back.
Yes.
Check it out, just remember, make sure. Okay,
But I do have new business.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, for the Osprey
okay.
cameras, yep. So the last meeting, we're talking about bringing more programming to the new nature trail. And we kind of floating around the idea of installing a camera in one of the Osprey nests.
Okay,
So I kind of looked more into it. I had a lot of phone calls with DEP, Conserve New Jersey, all the different groups to kind of get, I guess, an idea of how to start that project, how much it would cost, and all the.
so they are going to try and get back to us on that, or what we have to do, or no?
I haven't gotten all the answers back yet,
Okay,
but I was seeing if you guys are still on board, if we were continuing after we got all the information we need to start it.
I think it'd be great,
So the idea was to, I'm sorry?
as long as it's not a ton of work that we have to keep maintaining.
No, so the idea, and this is without getting all the information yet, would be to install the solar camera, attach it to the city's YouTube page, where you can constantly stream any live nests that are going on right now with the Osprey ones we just installed.
That'd be great.
So, like I said, beginning stages, we have a lot to go through with permitting and what's allowed, and we don't interrupt anything, obviously, in the wildlife, that's the most important part, is we don't want to disrupt anything, but I think with the solar power, we don't have to worry about running any kind of power lines or.
Anybody else in the town we should be talking to help us on that?
I reached out to a couple groups locally, some successful, some not, but I just reached out to Conserve NJ, which does work directly with, I believe, everybody who worked on the project.
I kind of went through all of this before with the nature center we had in Osprey. Like, I'm just kind of familiar with the
Please, yeah, yeah,
red tape, so if I can help you.
please, yeah.
Not that I was ever successful. Our biggest challenge was that in time, the ospreys didn't nest there because there were trees that were too close. And it encroached in their like flight pattern to come into the
Yeah.
nest. So we need somebody to come in with major tree trimming, but have you contacted the utility company?
Not yet, no,
Because they may help, like they may sponsor.
for
or-
sure.
And they've got the equipment to climb poles and to do stuff. so,
Yeah,
And it's good PR for them.
for sure, yeah, yep. So we haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
I did reach out to the groups about the best locations and best practices, where to put them at and things like that. I don't think we're having a problem necessarily with like trees, because it's kind of out. I don't know if you've been,
You're
yeah.
putting in the meadow?
Yeah, so we don't have to really worry about that too much. I just want to make sure it's the right nest and the right time of year and things like that. I want to make it
There was.
proper, so.
And there was an osprey stand out there.
I think there's 8 of them,
Yeah.
so there's a bunch.
Okay.
And what's getting used and what's not is something I think we still need to learn, but I think at least getting all the basic information of what's allowed and what's appropriate and
I
what's,
think that's a good one.
yeah, so, I think we have a couple of grants outside of the Environmental Commission we might be use for the project, and we also have money still in our budget to use
Okay.
for something like that, but, so make sure everybody's still on board and continue with, EC wants to be part of it, so.
Charlotte, you want to talk about stewardship?
Sure, thank you. As an environmental historian, I'd just like to share a story from 1989 today. And this has to do with a chemical company, Renown, in the area, that decided it would be a great place to dump its excesses off the coast of Cape May in 1989. And so at that point, we as a commission decided that we needed to find some ways to stop this. And one of the things that we discovered was that if you have a national marine sanctuary, then the federal program that designates marine protected areas enhances biodiversity and integrity of the area, that nothing can be placed in the ocean waters, and that park is protected. And there are many parks now as a result. This whole National Marine Sanctuary was established in 1982 and received enough sufficient funding so that up and down the coast of the East Coast and the West Coast, we have many protected areas. But I guess one of the things that happened during that time was we did learn that it takes 7 years for you to be designated. So that was quite a drawback for us because we were working on any number of issues in 1989 and 1990. But at least it gave the city the idea that indeed we have some vessels out there that need to be protected. We have World War II vessels, and this might have been one of the ways that they would have been protected had we gone ahead. And that's not to say that the city can't do it now with an application. So that's just one thing I wanted to bring to the attention of this particular commission meeting. And also, wanted to say that Gretchen did some wonderful work for us all in terms of applying for a grant. And there just wasn't sufficient grant monies for that particular publication. And I'd like to recommend that the publication go forward with all of the environmental ordinances listed in that publication and all of our city parks described. So those are the two things I wanted to talk about now. Thank you.
That publication, what did you actually want to do with that? Is that something we ought to be taking care of now, or what?
Well, it's, we could have a pamphlet, a trifold pamphlet, that would alert the public. For example, we're very fortunate that often the Star and Wave or Exit Zero will publish some of the things that we'd like the audience to know, our Cape May residents and our visitors. Our visitors have no clue, maybe, that we have a desal plant and that the water usage is extremely important, limiting your showers. We had a member of our commission, she is now retired. Rachel was pretty terrific with her grandkids. She stood outside of the showers with a stopwatch and told them, this is the amount of water you get to use for your shower. I think she'd be very happy to know that still continues in our minds and in our hearts. But I do think that we have a great number of people who visit us, and they're here for a short time. But it would be really terrific if we could let them know in a very, convenient way that they should be abiding by some of the rules and regulations that we have set in place over the years.
And would that be our money, or would that be, we have to go to council to do it? What would you rather do?
If we have any money, I don't really know. Do we
Okay.
have our budget approval?
Oh, yeah.
David, do you know?
I think we have money.
We do have money.
Well, it depends. We have certainly city letters that go to every resident, but that doesn't hit maybe the visitors as well. So I think that we need a splashy program letting people know that they should really abide by our rules when they're here in town.
So are we
And
gonna
it's for their own sake.
Are we going to hand them all a stopwatch as they come into the city?
Well, maybe some could be winners of a stopwatch. But, we have watering holes at the exit of each of our entrances to the beach. And I doubt that people know that letting that water run for, a half hour or so is really good, because it's desalinated water. And we are now on our second plant. The first plant went in 25 years ago, and now we're building the second.
Why
So,
don't you try and think about what stuff you wanted to put in this pamphlet? Maybe you could do it before next meeting, something like that. Does that make sense?
well, I would say that we have been very fortunate to have a number of illustrated ordinances put together by Justine. She was brilliant in doing that for us. And Gretchen has a lot of them already in her hand. So we have at least 8 or 10 ordinances that protect our environment, and it should be more obvious. That's all.
But I don't know where we want to go from here. Do we want to,
Well, the question is, how do we get it, what's the best vehicle, best way to get it in people's hands? We can work on the city website to make sure that we have a strong presence there. We can make a brochure. With the grant, it was specifically for a Cape May open space scavenger hunt. And it was to be a map with a dozen locations around town, formal gardens and natural open spaces. with the idea that we have these things here, people need to know about them and they need to visit them. And so the incentive, or the tease, was to make it into a scavenger hunt. And at each location, there would be these pollinator signs, which, they're weatherproof, they're sold at the Nature Center, I think they're like $28.99 or something like that. So the signs exist, they have a nice bold graphic on the front, the back is plain and white, so my idea was to put the way that they could be exhibited, that the person would have to take a peek on the back of the sign to see the answer to the question. And the question would be in the brochure. So, you know, it's just it's a game families could do, where if they complete and answer all the questions, they would end up at the Nature Center for a prize. And the prize could be something just simple, like a sticker, some kind of free giveaway. We used to do that with a scavenger, bicycle scavenger hunt, that we had printed up years ago. So that was the idea. And the funding was to pay for the signs, which the sign budget was probably gonna be around $500 or so. And then another $1,000 or so for printing, to actually get these things printed. I think I put in some money. The total grant was for more, it was maybe $2,200, because there were other things, to buy some plants to give to the different gardens, to make sure we have pollinator-friendly plants at the gardens. I mean, including like Rotary Park. Rotary Park, you don't think of it being a pollinator-friendly garden. There are some flowers, but it's mainly a formal garden, with hydrangeas and things. You could add a little bit more to it that would have flowers that are blooming in the summer, that would attract butterflies. And then just, you know, we can have these signs to get people. And so the back of the sign, it could be, one of the message could be conserve water. It doesn't all have to be about gardening and plant identification or anything. So that was the idea. And to develop the brochure, it could be, I think you're gonna have to have like a ledger, or, you know, a legal size, maybe a little bit, so it would be a 4-fold type of thing. Maybe one side could be the scavenger hunt, and the other side could list the ordinances in very, just like this. It's very simple, you know, it doesn't have word for word of everything in there, but it's kind of simplified. And then have it available. Yes, we can mail it, but I don't know if at the nature trail, some types of nature trails have brochure racks with a little lid.
And the city manager has a newsletter to everyone who pays taxes. Perhaps in that letter could go this additional piece of information.
The other thing is to make it available to real estate offices for rental packets. People that rent, to have these, you know, in there, what to do in Cape May. I mean, to just work on it and get it started is one thing, and then maybe we can apply for grants in the future for printing if we need that. Sounds like maybe we have money in the budget just sitting there that we could use some of it. And then I know we kind of, I'll take the blame on this, maybe drop the ball on the dune sign. But signage, like you talk about at the showers, they could have a simple sign up above saying, please conserve water, or have to make it like a friendly and fun way to word it.
Okay, thank you.
Is that something maybe we can come up with a suggested wording for the showers and then present that to Public Works, asking them to do that. They can
Or-
probably do it with some kind of a vinyl sticker that's waterproof and can be applied to, they're probably vinyl or ASIC, whatever that stuff's called. AZAC.
Somebody want to take the lead on that and try and think about doing it? I mean, we're talking about it, but we need somebody to step up and actually do that.
Should be a committee, I think. We could all bring suggestions next time, I think. Why not?
Okay, I mean,
Okay.
I'm fine with that. I mean, it's good, everything you said is really good. I mean, we ought to just try and somehow tie it all together and some direction on that.
Yeah.
Can I make I'm
Yes,
just a little
sure.
bit confused. So are you looking to make a sign for all the community parks as one and then do another sign for how to conserve, or are you trying to do it all in one?
So the grant application that we did not get
Yeah.
from Amjack was a scavenger hunt
Yeah,
with a pamphlet.
yeah. So that's a different project from
The
the,
signs at the gardens were going to be these
Yeah.
little things, so not a big sign.
yeah.
We're talking about also making a sign for maybe the showers,
So those are all different, two different
Yes.
ones, okay.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
like the idea about the showers signs.
that'd be, I mean, I can ask Public Works, I know them.
We can
Ask
give them,
them
we
what-
can give them the wordage of what we want done, then they can just do
I
it.
guess we're like, well, it'd be that and probably Paul, but I can ask Public Works, what does that ask look like? I mean, I could do that myself, but I'm trying to think and going forward with like, there's money in that thing for the signs, I would assume, for all the parks. I think maybe a good start would be to see how many parks there is in a city that you want to do, right? And what you want to highlight, and just do like a mock draft of that end, so you can at least start that.
I can start, I can
Just
start.
because it's going to take the guy a little bit of time, we
Yeah.
can, for the signs, the guy's local, you can do it really quick. I can come back next week with like, the exact
Yeah.
amount we have in the budget, so you have an idea of how much,
If,
So now you're talking about the parks signs versus the showers.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm trying to figure out in my head, like, which,
Do we want to
it's-
just concentrate on one now and do the,
I think it might be, I mean,
let's just.
you guys decide what you want to do, but, I mean, the Public Works is an easy ask, but I think if we focus on one of them, which would be maybe like the park scavenger hunt, I think is a great idea, because you can loop in something like that with the new trail. I think maybe focusing all on just that one might be,
We'll probably past the summertime for the showers, maybe. I'm thinking if we want to do something for the showers, things.
something like, I mean, I'm thinking at the nature trail, you have these scavenger hunt, if this was, if you had brochure rack, they're at the head of the trail.
yeah, yeah, not,
And-
yeah.
That's a great Eagle Scout project. To reach out to a local scout troop and say, we need this built. You could have this in there, you could have the scavenger hunt brochure that says, I hope you enjoyed this park, now go to the other parks and explore.
And you could also do, and that's why I brought that today, so on the backside, you have the QR, which is a good another option too, if you don't want to do
Yes.
the marketing piece. So this is what we did at the, maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but maybe we'll just talk about it right now. So we brought all the kids from Camp Cape May to the nature trail. Gretchen came and Councilman Bonner came. Awesome day, it was 100 degrees out, but did a great job. But this was the scavenger hunt we had at the nature trail. The kids loved it. And on the backside of it, and we had a little operator error today, but that's what you can scan, and that might be a good idea what Gretchen's saying with the signs, right? And that brings you, so that scan bar was working the other day, and this was made by my recreation coordinator, and that brings you right to the city website, and also brings you right to the Environmental Commission, right to it. And then one of the prizes she was thinking, we're talking about people who get rewarded, which would be like a water bottle, which we have that money in the budget too, but that's why I brought that today. But that might be something what Gretchen is talking about in terms of the scavenger hunt. in each location, you can have a different thing you're looking for in each park. So that's why I think maybe get all the parks together, know what they have in that park, and then you
All
can.
right, look, let's try and tie this all together next.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, trying to
try and
focus on one thing, yeah. Might be a good start, kind of like an inspiration for each park, and you can just kind of go from there.
I know we have some people here that want to say something.
Yeah, yeah,
In the
so.
audience here. Real quick, Randy, do you want to say anything about what this was? Do you want to say anything about this? What you gave us?
I think it speaks for itself.
Okay.
The last paragraph of the article, the risk of occupational heat-related illness will increase as extreme heat associated with climate change increases. Clinicians and healthcare systems should counsel workers about ways to identify, prevent heat-related illness to reduce their adverse effect on health. I'll continue to look for medical articles that are relevant to this.
Okay, real nice. All right.
Thank you.
Could somebody want to speak? Somebody want to say something from the audience? Go ahead. You want to come up and sit? You got to come up and, want to come sit and push make sure the green button's on. It's all right.
I'll introduce myself in a second. Pass something out for you all. My name's Gary Snyder. Gary Snyder, 105 First Avenue,
You carry that
Cape
with
May.
That's really easy to carry.
Great. I have two things I want to pass around, and I want to speak to you about a proposed project. The first is 3 or 4 slides and an attached drawing, which I'll explain. So let me just start over here. And I only have one copy of that. I apologize. I do have a copy of highlighted issues, one for each of you. So let me pass that out, and then I'll take a few minutes and describe what I'd like to pass on to the commission.
Thank you.
Okay. Last thing I'll do is attach to what's circulating is essentially, again, a summary slide and a smaller version of this, so I'll just set this here. I may hold it up in a minute. Okay, so,
And I didn't catch your name.
yeah, Gary Snyder,
Okay, thank you.
105 First Avenue,
Okay, Gary.
Cape May, down by the Cove, first in Mount Vernon, more or less. 15-year resident of Cape May, and I've enjoyed every minute. I'm a professional engineer, professional geologist, spent my career in the environmental field, so I applaud you for all your work. I spent a bunch of years on the Environmental Commission, where I grew up, and have completed a lot of environmental projects in my career, which I won't get into any further. But I'm here today to talk to you, to bring to your attention a project that's being proposed. You may or may not be familiar with it, which is the pedestrian bridge over Cape Island Creek that would connect West Cape May to Cape May City, goes from West Grant to First Avenue in Cape May City. So I think you're familiar with the area, so we're kind of down towards South Meadows from Broadway, and again, the bridge, as is shown in the handout, goes from West Cape May on West Grant over Cape Island Creek, and it would land on the Cape May City side on First Avenue. It is a project that developed out of the broader Cape Island Connections pedestrian and bicycle study, where they looked at, on a region-wide basis, all of the areas that were issues, and did an extensive study, 600 pages or whatever it was, a fairly detailed analysis of looking at, obviously the impacts of safety on pedestrians and bicycles, and then ranking alternatives and costing them out, what have you. This bridge was never really studied in that study, but is apparently now a project that is being pushed by West Cape May as the first project to address pedestrian and bicycle safety in the region. It will be a joint application by West Cape May and Cape May City. West Cape May owns half of it over to the center of Cape Island Creek, where the property line is, or the municipal line boundary is, and then Cape May City owns the other half. There are a number of issues which I can go into as much as you want to hear, but I really want to focus on the environmental issues with you folks for good reason. Just briefly, there are pedestrian and bicycle safety concerns that need to be addressed. There are a number of us in the general community that think this is a loser of a project and it does not address those concerns. And there are cheaper, better ways that have no impacts to address bicycle traffic and pedestrian traffic, i.e. doing something like a dedicated bike lane along Broadway between Mount Vernon and West Grant, or West Grant, Mount Vernon, all the way to Beach. And again, I can elaborate. But from an environmental perspective, let me just hold this up and explain something. So the pink here is the bridge, right? The yellow is a sidewalk that would go from one street, West Grant, over to the bridge and then onto First Avenue on the Cape May City side. The orange lines are the result of a wetlands delineation that was done by a consultant by paid for by West Cape May. And the parcel on the left obviously is the West Cape May parcel. It's about 0.15 acres. Virtually all of it, about 90% is wetlands. On the Cape May City side, about a third of that parcel is wetlands. So what's being proposed here is to go in and plow down high-value wetlands on both sides of Cape Island Creek, to clear and grub, take everything down, cut down some shade trees, particularly on the Cape May City side that are right on the canal. Completely disrupt the habitat. And again, high-value habitat, high-value wetlands. There are some threatened species that are in that area. The southern gray tree frog has been identified and tagged, and it would be disruptive, to say the least. What goes back in place after we plow everything down, disrupt the habitat, affect probably the adjacent habitat too as part of the construction activities, is a steel bridge that's anchored on both sides by piles and concrete, probably much like we've seen at the nature trails. It'll be a steel truss bridge. It's planning to be arched. It's planning to be that brown, rusty look, if you will, which is called Cortens, with some kind of a plastic decking, I believe. And it would serve the purpose, again, of making that connection. So I draw your attention to, again, the environmental concerns. It's the disruption of the wetlands, filling of wetlands, the destruction of wetlands, the impacts on the habitat, both of those being directly impacted on the parcels and then impacts on the adjacent parcels, and conceivably even in downstream impacts on Cape Island Creek as it flows into Nature Conservancy South Meadows. All right, very sensitive environment, obviously. There are, besides that, I think water quality and maybe for the residents, flooding concerns, because Cape Island Creek is an interesting beast in that, you know, it comes from the ocean side, it is connected, obviously. There is control on the creek as the creek goes underneath the city, if you will, down by the miniature golf course, down by Swains, and then comes out over on Broadway where it's daylighted. It has some controls. But when you get a storm like we had the other night and a high tide, the water just rips through there. The residents in the area, and I'm not directly close by, but the residents in the areas have photographs where that flooding has been up to their base of their foundations in some cases. The way the bridge is going to be designed, you can envision, you know, leveling, building up the soil, kind of berms on both sides, a sidewalk that goes up on the berm on both sides, and then a bridge that's set down in the middle. There are issues with doing that, and I won't bore you with the hydraulics of it, but taking that floodway or floodplain and putting some impediment to flow in there could be a concern.
Has there been any applications at all to DEP on this?
Yeah, so let me fast forward, and that's sort of the overview of the project, I think the environmental concerns. The status right now is West Cape May has an engineer under contract that developed this plan. They went after and got some initial funding to do this and to investigate potential permitting. I understand now they have been released to do some additional work, which would be to pursue the permits and to pursue grant funding for the construction of the bridge. Could be a $500,000 to $1 million project, I'm not sure. I did an estimate myself, but And I think it could be very expensive, and the wetland mitigation requirements and other things that haven't been factored into that. They're in the early stages of that permitting. DEP says there's 3 general permits that they would operate under. I've looked at the permits and the requirements of the permits. I think there are real concerns whether they can actually meet those permit requirements. But right now, the initial feedback from DEP was, yeah, we can probably do it. And I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But they didn't seem too concerned with the project. I think the timing of it is probably, 6 months to a year, perhaps, but something like that to get, permits to a point where they're probably likely to be issued, drawings to a point where maybe it could be put out to bid, the grant funding in place to build the bridge, and then the project goes ahead. So as the Environmental Commission, I guess I would request your feedback and your acknowledgement of the environmental concerns associated with this project on the Cape May City side.
Look,
Well,
certainly there's concerns for all the environment, for all the things that you've said. I mean, as far as environmental issues, I don't think there's any question about that. I think it's a little premature for us to really make any kind of statement about whether pro or con on this thing till we certain something further down the road, okay?
Completely understand. It may be even premature for me to be here,
Well, no.
but you all know, I mean,
How long, how many linear feet is the actual bridge itself? Do you know?
50 feet, the bridge is a 50-foot span. I think in total it's about 170 feet
Okay.
from sidewalk to sidewalk.
I mean, that includes the building it up and everything?
Yeah, yellow plus, on this diagram, probably yellow plus pink is 170 feet, and the pink is 50. Yeah.
So is all of the proposed work within the boundary of the borough of West Cape May? 'Cause you said it's a...
Half of it, so half of it's in Cape May. This half's Cape May. Left half is West Cape May, right half is Cape May.
So
and-
is the city engineer in Cape May part of this review?
Well, that's a good question, and I think the short answer is most of the work to date has been performed by West Cape May. Cape May City is aware of it. Paul Dietrich is aware of it. The council's aware of it, and has become more aware of it because of some public comments over the last few weeks. But it's obviously being driven by West Cape May.
may I ask you what West Cape May's Environmental Commission thinks of this project?
I don't know the answer to that, other than everything seems to be clear sailing at the council level, and I believe there are some representatives, not me, that are attending, West Cape May residents, that are attending the commission meeting here maybe this week or next week.
We'd like to know,
We'll let you know, for sure.
yes.
Yeah, they've got that entire parcel on their side, and if you go down West Grant, you'll see it. It's the
There have to be-
only parcel that's fully vegetated.
An awful lot of state regulations, as well as federal regulations, that would be a part of this process. And tell me, do you have a list of those agencies?
Yeah, DEP will issue this under general permit. It would be freshwater wetlands permit 17 and a CAFR permit, general permit 13. And then there's a floodplain permit by rule that doesn't seem to be much of an issue. And again, that's been investigated. That's based on conversations and information gathered by West Cape May's engineer to date.
Do we have any idea when that information would be forthcoming to all of us?
Others have requested those documents from West Cape May.
Has our council requested those documents?
No, and I'll be perfectly frank, I don't think Cape May City's too engaged in this yet. And as a resident, that really concerns me, because it seems like a bridge that's being driven by West Cape May. And when you sit back and you look at it, the impacts are going to be on the Cape May City side. The environmental impacts are on both sides.
Gary, eventually, it's going to hit the fan here, so eventually it's going to hit the fan here.
Oh, I completely
I
agree.
mean, I'm not saying good or
Yeah.
bad, but eventually it's going to get to our council. It has to.
Yeah. Oh, it will, and it will. And I think our job, my job, as a concerned in environmental individual, if you will, in this area is to try to highlight some of these concerns early on so that we all have a chance to think about it.
Okay.
That's all.
Anybody have any other questions for Gary? I mean, we're not saying, we appreciate you coming here and telling us all about this, because obviously, first time I heard of this.
Has anybody else heard of this?
Yes.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, I was just
here's
curious.
everything.
I know. She's the historian, for crying out loud, she has to. Okay, well, I won't bore you any further. If you have any questions, I'll hang around, and I'll be happy to go into as much detail
And
as you
you've
want.
done as much in informing our council as possible?
Pardon?
You've talked to our council?
Yeah, so, yeah, thank you for that point. Yes, July 1st, we presented at the council meeting in public comment, presented an overview of our concerns. On the 15th, we presented an overview of safety concerns and presented some alternates that we think Cape May City should consider, both West Cape May and Cape May City should consider. On the 5th meeting, which you may or may not want to attend, I believe we're going to highlight some of those alternatives further and detail the environmental concerns in more detail.
August 5th.
August 5th, thank you.
Okay.
In pushing, just one general comment. What's the purpose of the bridge?
Purpose of the bridge is to make pedestrian, and I think particularly bicycle, travel to and from the beach
Okay.
or to and from destinations, particularly West Cape May to Cape May, safer.
So is our bicycle, we have a bicycle commission in this town, we used to, right? Don't we? Didn't
We
have-
do.
And are they aware of what's going on here, this thing, do you think?
There's a pedestrian well, Steve Bodnar is the council representative
Okay.
on the Bicycle Safety Committee, which is a regional,
Next month.
triad.
Steve is usually here.
yeah, and we've been trying to get a meeting,
Okay, all right.
he and several other representatives.
It'll be on our radar. We'll ask Steve when he comes back, because he'll, certainly if he's involved with our bicycle commission and the council in general, we'll know more about this.
Great.
Has anybody investigated Sunset Boulevard in terms of a larger bike lane?
Well, yes, and I think that probably, from what I've read, was the impetus for this whole thing, was safe travel along Sunset and then into the city. And again, if you look at, if you look at this document, so there's 70 or 80 pages of this, and then there's 300 pages of appendices, goes into exhaustive detail of where the problem areas are and which ones are the first ones to hit. Sunset is obviously one of those. Ranks the projects top 10. And again, I'll call out, the bridge wasn't even in there.
It's on our radar.
Thanks. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And again, I applaud you for your work.
No problem. Somebody else want to speak, I guess? Go ahead. Sure thing.
Hunter Cochran, 1429 New Jersey Avenue. I wanted to bring up the subject of the Jacob Jones Memorial Monument that's being proposed for the Poverty Beach area, and think it obviously is a place that the Environmental Commission should be having an opinion about, or at least be involved in. Is the commission aware of the proposed park?
I'm guilty. No.
I am.
Yeah, I know.
Some people are, obviously, but
Okay. Well, it's,
give it your best shot for a little bit.
well,
Go ahead.
it's the biggest concern probably about the proposed plan is the size of the monument that's being proposed, which is almost 30 feet tall, because they're trying to basically replicate the World War II ship that it's memorializing in a sculpture form, I guess would be the best way to articulate it. It just seems that
I don't know if this is helpful. I was just gonna, that's the proposed plan coming off the end of the seawall, and then this is a picture of the monument.
a sketch of the monument.
Sketch of the
Okay.
monument, sorry.
And it's 30 feet tall?
I think now it's down to 24, 26. It started at 30 foot.
And the seawall, down that way, seawall, there was like a L-shaped end of the seawall, is
Yeah,
that?
so that's, they're saying that the seawall will end. I'm not, this is part of my question, is that I need to get more information, because I can't really tell from these documents. I'm trying to have professionals look at it. and tell
On
me
the ocean side of the seawall, or where the restrooms are?
the ocean side.
Okay, I get it, okay. That-
Between the ocean
Yeah.
and the restaurant.
I got it, okay.
You can see the walkway that they have, the one
From Wilmington Avenue.
Yeah. And then, so it's right in between, so here's the jetty walkway, right?
Okay.
So there's Wilmington. This is the ocean over here.
Okay,
This is the walkway to go down on the beach.
okay.
And all this area that is now fenced off as dune, completely, like, I mean.
And this is it, right here?
And this is
Okay,
it.
okay,
And this is 2,300 square feet coverage.
okay, all right,
And, yeah.
can we keep this? Can we keep
yeah,
this?
I can
Okay.
keep more, and I can, sorry.
I think we're good, I think we're
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It's a great exhibit to.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the other
It is
position.
right on the dune. It is right on the dune.
Dead nuts on it. So our thinking is that the principal backer behind this, who's the funding source for this, and they're proposing it to the city as a thing to draw more tourists, be a nice attraction. It's a great idea. It seems that Harborview Park would be a much more logical place to put this, would not be inconsistent with the existing structures there, and in fact would enhance the thing that is rarely used, as I think we all know, and would not have the environmental
I'm not going to
impact.
take a stance on this at all. As far as you know, we just can't, but where does it stand with council? Have they heard anything on this yet?
There was a presentation last week at council. There is apparently, we understand there have been 8 different sites proposed. This is site number 8.
Okay,
It started at the Cove, which was rejected by the residents of the Cove, apparently. They looked at Howard, sorry?
shocking.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Howard Street.
Jeez,
D-
please take that with a grain of salt.
Comment appreciated and understood. Howard Street, they looked at a site there that there seemed to be apparently a lot of resistance to that. And then it's now been proposed for Poverty Beach. So anyway, you just all need to be aware of it, and it clearly has significant environmental impacts, and thought we should bring it to your attention.
Thanks for bringing it to us, and we're going to keep it on my files. I'll have it for sure. And I want that other one, that you have that other.
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
No problem, thank you.
Thank you.
Interesting. We'll ask Chris when he comes back next month about this stuff, the council part of it. Anybody have any questions about this for any of the people here? The scuttlebutt, I mean, sure can. You want to come up, please? Go ahead. No problem.
I'll be quick. Michelle O'Donnell. We own a property at 1624 New Jersey Avenue.
Okay.
Which is right on basically where Wilmington and New Jersey kind of come around, sits tucked in there. We were made aware of this situation only by someone in the city, a past city council member, who wanted to make the neighbors aware that this was going on.
Okay.
So last week, we became aware of it 48 hours before the special meeting. It's interesting that, as Hunter has shared, that it's something that's been proposed in several other locations, and now there's a movement to really push to have it at Poverty Beach. There's the 3 biggest environmental concerns is, as somebody who grew up spending time at the nature centers, my kids spend time at the nature centers, we've seen anything hatched at that Poverty Beach section. Even I think somebody from Fish and Game comes out and will mark off things time of the year.
For piping plover.
I am shocked that this is being proposed by private funding. I heard, it's 24 to 30 feet currently. They're also proposing a 3-foot mirror by 3-foot mirror, so that on February 28th, when this ship went down somewhere off the coast of Cape May, that it would be a full moon or a certain moon and illuminate this mirror, which the ship is going to be made of metal, and then their mirror is going to be on that. And what does that mirror do to wildlife? To, everything, there's been no impact study.
Dark skies, right? Dark skies.
Yeah, I have a house in Charleston, Kiwa Island, and now it's like, you have to be dark at a certain time of year. I'm just shocked that, like, that you folks don't know about this going on, because I think that, just if you can, I'm just asking, as somebody who cares about Cape May's wildlife protection, if you can just really dig into it and be aware of what's about to be supposedly voted on. There's going to be a July 30th session, of which will be a Zoom meeting, and then they're going to vote on it in August
Okay.
to approve it. So that's all I'm saying. Thank you for your time and all you do.
It's on both our radars. I mean, both these projects are on our radars here, okay, guaranteed. Go ahead.
Just because Elizabeth Truxas, 1724 New York Avenue, 1725 and 1716. Lots down at Poverty Beach and my house is the nature center.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we did my heart good here about talking about the nature center. So obviously, our family has been a big proponent of Cape May's natural resources as long as I can remember. And, yeah, we just wanted to see if there's also anything that you guys can explain to me, because I'm just learning, like, all the different committees. I was at the council meeting on Tuesday night, and I was working with an environmental lawyer, you know, for our properties, and so he came and spoke. But I don't know, kind of, you have any insight as to how your committee works with, in conjunction with the council? I mean, is there like a way that you guys?
I'm so sorry. The mic.
I have to push it this whole time. I'm so sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we are a commission, and we could have input to the council, but it's council's decision ultimately
Okay.
on all these projects.
We review plans once they go to the planning board, then they're submitted to us for review and comment. So,
I can't
have
imagine
not-
either of these projects not going to the planning board for some reason.
Well, that's what,
And then, I mean, I'm the liaison to this, I'm on the planning board, and I'm on the liaison here for that. So it's not going to go far. We'll know about all these projects.
okay. And there's no, like, additional information that it would be helpful like this to
Not
give to
yet.
you guys at this point? You'll get it all from them, you know, as they're
We'll be
going
like-
through.
Well, we're like the public. We're like the public, a lot of this stuff. We're aware of it, and if we have an opinion on what we want to do, then we say it.
Okay. And
That's why I wanted to just offer, you know, if there's anything that I can do, you know, do some.
Noted. It's noted, then we,
You know, graphs or any studies or anything.
Okay.
You know, to help with that, I'm open to doing that.
okay. Not a problem. Anybody have any else?
Thank you.
Anybody have any thoughts?
Well, I think it needs a lot of approvals.
Yeah,
there-
for sure.
It is going to need, you know, in the very least, it will need DEP approval, it will need wetlands approval, it might need Army Corps of Engineers approval. It certainly needs our planning board approval.
I mean, it's seaward side of the wall. I mean, which, I
Yes.
don't understand that. I don't understand how they're going to get away with that, quite frankly, but that's, again, I'm just talking out loud here.
I think it'd be very helpful to have a New Jersey Audubon Society letter about, because the piping plover are there.
I mean, there's that.
yeah, I mean,
it
we
opens
we
up a can
don't,
of
you know, we don't disturb any of that. And,
Exactly.
you know, for them to change the whole entire nature of the dunes in that area
I don't want this
is-
commission creating this wheel. We're not
Yeah,
gonna be doing that.
I get that.
We're
Yeah.
gonna review it, and then we'll have a
Right.
stance on it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Anybody else, any good of the order? Anybody? Motion to, did I see a hand raised over
This
there?
July 24th for Cleans Community, we're doing cleanup at Cove Beach.
July 24th?
Correct. Yep.
Cove Beach.
3 o'clock, 3 to 5.
Okay.
3 to 5, yeah, down at the Cove. Yep. It's a monthly thing we do.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Mike's off, please.